Hey guys, it is Brian here for trailer analysis and feature review for the new NHL 15 reveal trailer that dropped today, along with the features that have been announced. I want to show you guys this and give my thoughts on what I've seen so far. So first off, let's look at the graphics here. It's going to be, mainly tailored to next-gen consoles, and you can see from this picture here, things look pretty good overall. I've played NHL 14 on current gen, obviously, and FIFA 14 on next gen, and what I can say is definitely the graphics here shown really kind of show off the Ignite engine and something very similar to what we should be seeing in NHL 15. And this is something that's not too far off from what we've seen in the past. You can see the net here looks very similar to what you'd see in NHL 14, but just a little bit more polished. Stuff like this, though, actually seeing the seats and everything really being depicted in the stands is something that we haven't seen in previous games that I think we're going to see more and more of. Even the cracks in the pavement shown off in this trailer are small details they're going to be able to actually do with the RAM space that is available in next-gen consoles. And, some of you saying that, this is not necessarily the footage, but I really think that we're going to see something similar to this in the actual game. But it's going to look different when you're actually playing the game rather than seeing it from the stands. But they're going to actually be able to put that detail in there. And also we have Eddie Olczyk talking over in this trailer too, showing off that there's going to be new announcers, which we'll talk a little bit about in the features coming up. This is a really great part about the trailer I liked a lot, was just seeing the jersey there kind of move briskly with the wind, and just seeing the detail there. I'm really excited to see the actual facial features going ahead here for the big players going into NHL 15. Now we'll jump in a bit to the features that are going to be in NHL 15, guys, and we'll start off with the fact that actually some of these are going to be only next-gen exclusive, or current-gen if you will. The games for PS3 and 360 are going to be held back. The only things you're really going to see are better collision physics, and then the new team of Eddie Olczyk and Doc Emmerich, along with Ray Ferraro in the commentator booth. So there probably will be some minor changes to the current-gen version, but you're going to get a very stripped-down version when you get that game. Versus that, though, instead of multiplayer collision in the second year of the collision physics, they're going to actually do 12-player NHL collision physics for the next-gen versions, which I'm skeptical of. I want to see more of this. I want to actually see actual gameplay before I get really behind this, but I'm excited to see what next-gen quality, actual gameplay is going to be like compared to current-gen. And also, that said, too, I'm excited to see, is there going to be better goalie collision physics? Are the players actually going to, collide with each other in more realistic ways? Are we going to see players collide on their own? Is it going to be not initiated by hits? These are all questions I have, and I'm a little bit worried that, this is a big ask for them to really step up their game, and it's something that they can really, say, hey, we're going to do this, but will we actually see it in full action? These are thoughts that I have in regards to this, and I'm excited to see more about the 12-player NHL collision physics for next-gen consoles, but I'm also skeptical and want to see actual gameplay for it. Next up, we have the feature of real puck physics for NHL 15, which I'm excited for too. Previous iterations of the game tried to make this a bit better, and it's really not really worked out. Previous patches for NHL 14 have made the puck physics really weird in the corners, and I'm excited to see what this could mean for NHL 15. Again, something that I want to see gameplay of first before I get really excited for it, but also something that can make the game a lot better going ahead, and something that we should definitely look forward to. Could be a big feature that makes the game a lot better, or, something that's a little bit more fluffy than, some of these other features that are listed. Next up, guys, we have authentic player and equipment models, which is something that actually I talked about previously there in the trailer that I'm very excited for. This means that the player, the equipment, and the jersey are all going to be separate going ahead, and they talked a little bit about the fact that this is going to mean that, when a player is skating really fast up the ice, you're going to see the jersey kind of ripple a little bit, showing off the speed of the player. And I think it's going to really be interesting to see, what this is going to mean, especially for, what is equipment going to look like. It's going to look more realistic, something that maybe is a little bit more just peripheral than anything else that's been listed on this list, but something that can also make the game look a little bit more next-gen. I think seeing the rippling of the jerseys, maybe seeing a jersey move in a fight or something like that and kind of, be pulled up or something is something that could be really interesting to see, and also, make the game feel a little bit different than past iterations. Going along with this is unprecedented player likeness, which is something that's kind of a given going into next-gen. You expect to see better graphics for the actual players and the player likeness, and I am really excited to see this. Players that we want to, really associate ourselves with when we're playing NHL 15 should look amazing in this game. Again, they've had the time to really develop this, taking a year off. They didn't do it last year. They waited to do this for NHL 15. I think that we're going to see some really great player likenesses going ahead into NHL 15, and especially for next-gen consoles. Following that up, we have the Superstar Skill Stick, which is something that I'm not really going to talk that much about because I'm going to wait and see what this actually means in future videos. But the skill stick has been a very big part of the NHL series. They've been iterating on it for several years, and if they can do more of it going into the NHL 15, then I'm excited to see what that's going to be. Authentic arenas, though, are something I'm very passionate about, and I'm excited to see in NHL 15. We've seen improvements in the past of this, but something that has been really limited by, the fact that we've been on current-gen consoles for quite some time. Next-gen consoles are going to have the extra space to really create the details of each of these arenas and show us, when you're going into these specific arenas for these teams, what they're all about. And again, this is something that can be very peripheral. It's not about the actual gameplay, but something that can really add to the experience, especially those playoff games that are really serious. You want to go into your own barn and really see the crowd going crazy and see all the, specific details of your team being highlighted. And I'm very excited to see this actually in action in NHL 15. Next up, we also have a new commentary team for NHL 15, which is something we've been asking for years. Finally getting it in this iteration with Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk in the booth, along with Ray Ferraro on the ice. Be really excited to see, a new commentary team brought in. I know some of you guys like to mute the commentary, but I've always been one to hear and one to listen, and getting these new guys in here, also having, Ray Ferraro on the ice is going to really change the element of the game and give some new freshness to the actual version of NHL 15. They're also going to be doing pre-game commentaries too, where they're going to be doing in-game visuals, but they're also going to have the real-life likenesses of these guys talking while this is going on, which will be interesting to see because we've seen, this in the past with I think like Madden games and stuff like that, where they have these people talking on a green screen with the visuals behind them, and it hasn't always looked the greatest. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like, what this is going to mean for the game, but something to be pretty excited for because we're going to be getting that new commentary that we really wanted for quite some time. Tied in with getting Eddie Olczyk and Doc Emmerich to do the in-game commentary. They've also got the NBC sports package for the games too, which means you're going to see all the branding for NBC going into the games. So, not CBC, not TSN, but NBC, the American broadcast, is going to be highlighted, which will make it a little bit more realistic as well. We've seen this in other games too. I think FIFA 13 did it with ESPN. It really adds a new element to the game that I like to see. Again, very peripheral, but something that'll be nice to, kind of mix up the actual graphics for the game going ahead. Lastly, we have Living Crowds and Vision AI listed for the last two features on the NHL 15 website. And Living Crowds has me pretty excited, as they're saying there are going to be over 9,000 different type of people in the crowds, with also 4 times more animations for these, actual living bodies that are going to be in the crowds watching the game, getting excited during the game. And we've had the same crowds for so long. I'm excited to see new iterations on this. They're also going to be holding up signs. It's going to be, way more interaction with the actual game, goals scored, penalties, interaction for specific teams, and they're saying also there's going to be little patches of the away team in the crowd too. So they're going to really try and do their best to create more of a living crowd inside these living arenas as well. The only thing that I'm going to be kind of skeptical of is they're saying 9,000 different types. I feel like that's going to be let's say 60 different types of hair types and 30 different types of body types, and they're just going to really rotate those around, so you're going to see a lot of the same things but just on different types of character models, but still a big upgrade of what we've seen, which has really been, let's say, 5 or 10 of the same thing, plastered throughout the crowd. I'm excited to see these guys actually in the crowd and what that's going to be like. Again, something I want to see for sure before I get really hyped for it. But again, another feature that's going to be very peripheral, but it's going to make this game feel completely different than previous titles. And lastly, I said there's also Vision AI 2, which I won't go over too much, as it's really just kind of highlighting, better overall AI for the teammates and, your opponents, to better scoring chances, better opportunities, better breakouts. Stuff that we've seen constantly in the past. They're always improving this stuff, but again, something that probably will take a pretty good leap going into the next-gen versions of this game. Overall, guys, I'm really excited to see NHL 15 in action. It's a game that I've been waiting for quite some time. NHL 14 was the, kind of buffer year where I was getting into next-gen consoles last fall, and I wanted that next-gen experience, so I knew they took the extra year. They could really make something unique and different, and I'm excited to see what this is going to be. I'm holding out anticipation. I know that this could be, very much a gap year for the next-gen consoles, but again, this is going to be that step we've been waiting for so long. Better graphics, better crowds, better arenas, and the whole new package for commentating along with, pre-game stuff should be really interesting to see too. Overall, I'm very excited to see what NHL 15 is going to be, and we only have a couple months to wait for the actual demo to drop, so get excited, guys. It's going to be around the corner, and if you want to see more NHL 15 content, I'll be doing analysis, review stuff on the trailers, and overall talking about my opinions coming up in future videos. Thank you for watching. Cheers.